comments. I don't think that it was right for OBJ for him to be able to say that. Even in this league, what happens is when you go to another team, whatever intel that team has on you, they typically don't discuss it. That's the reason why people for a long time, and even to this day, people say, well, Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. And the reason why is because Buddy Ryan, when he cut me, he didn't tell the real reason. He didn't tell the reason why I was available for waiver wire. And he just used the excuse, all he does is score a touchdown. Then eventually it caught on because me, per touchdown, per reception, my ratio was very, very high. But it was actually the excuse for not giving the public information that he had on a player, something that's been common to sports since the beginning of sports. So Gettleman even talking about that Odell, and I don't believe this to be true, but thinking that Odell was part of the problem as far as the locker room and the culture with the Giants, that wasn't the right thing to do. And even if it was true, it wasn't the right thing for him to say. Now, I know, in personally talking to the head coach and personally talking to a number of guys in the Giants locker room, that this wouldn't be true. There were a lot of guys that looked up to him as a leader. Odell, one of his biggest problems, if you get outside of the emotional outburst, his biggest problem was the Giants would not let him practice at full speed. And he felt like he was wasting his time a lot there in the offseason. He didn't speak bad about Eli most of the time. Now, the Lil Wayne thing, he could have cleaned that up just a little bit, but he wasn't saying negative things about his teammate or Eli. So I don't like the way Gettleman positioned this, as if you could draw the conclusion that OBJ was part of the problem as far as the Giants compared to their lack of talent, their lack of playmakers, their lack of a pass rush, an offensive line that is atrocious.
Listen, as Bill James said, bad teams have a stunning habit of blaming their best players for their problems. And I'll take it further than you see. I don't think Gettleman was saying in this quote, OBJ was part of the culture problem. He made it seem like the culture problem was Odell Beckham Jr. Unless we're going to say he was lumping this on Landon Collins, who nobody seemed to have issues with his leadership, with him as a teammate. It was just a contractual issue there. There's not a lot of other Giants that were prominent players that have been moved out since last season ended. Listen, Dave Gettleman is doing a lot of talking, a lot of media. He is putting himself out there repeatedly with a very sincere belief. Oh, I know how to do this better than everybody talking about this, and I'm going to show you. So we're going to get to find out. We're going to get to find out if he's right, that the problem with the Giants last year wasn't their 1,000-yard receiver. It wasn't what their 1,000-yard receiver brought to the table, but what he took off the table through this intangible, unable to define cultural issues. I don't believe that to be true. We've had a few of his teammates on this show talking about their relationship with him on and off the field, and I thought Pat Shurmur seemed to like it. Pat Shurmur seemed to really be trying to build a relationship with him over the course of the season, but Dave Gettleman clearly thought the player that he gave a contract extension to as one of his first moves,
who said we did not sign him to trade him,
was a huge cultural problem for the New York Giants.
So Dave Gettleman said a lot in all of this, but somehow over the course of the last couple months, in giving numerous interviews, more so than we've heard from a lot of other general managers at this point in the offseason, he's come to let us know that he wants to go with a 38-year-old quarterback, and his team is not rebuilding, even though we seem to think they are. What do you think Dave Gettleman's agenda is in all this, with the Odell comments, with the Eli comments? I mean, where are we with why he seems to find it necessary to explain himself constantly?
Now, for me, not like other people, I believe in him as a football person. I believe he's trying to position the New York Football Giants so that they can put a product on the field. Now, Gettleman, as long as he's been associated, he hadn't had this many sound bites. So to me, it's a little odd. It's a little unusual, but the Giants and their ownership, they haven't been speaking. So Gettleman, he's taken over that role as he preps for the draft. Are the Giants in a better position to be able to rebound and get into the playoffs? That, to me, is what he should be judged on. Can he restore that offensive line? Can he get them a pass rusher after trading Olivier Vernon? These are the things that he should be judged on. All these press conferences, because we're going to find out. which quarterback he likes. We're going to find out through the draft. I believe with the 6th pick, he's going to take a defensive player, and they're going to skip on the quarterback until the 17th pick or try to trade up from the 17th pick. Those are the things that are really important. We trade away all that stuff. It's not going to matter now. It's what type of product can he help the Giants put back on the field to get them into the playoffs.
And it should be noted, if they do take a quarterback at any point in the first round or any point high in the draft, that'll be the first time Dave Gettleman's done this. When he got to the Giants the first time, he inherited Eli Manning. When he got to the Carolina Panthers, he inherited Cam Newton.
Right.
One thing he's never done with the 7 Super Bowls he's been to that he talks about at length in this article, forgetting the fact that 4 of those he was a scout with the Bills, not one of the decision makers, but still, none of those times was he a part of the process that selected the quarterback that took those teams to that Super Bowl. He's going to have to be, whether he wants to be or not, the part of that process for the Giants either this year or next year, depending on what they do with Eli Manning. And just like we don't know, he doesn't know if that's something he excels at, because that's something he's never done. The quarterbacks he's been successful with were already with those franchises when he got there.
All eyes on the Giants at 6 and 17 to see what they do in the draft. Take a break. Coming up, is Damian Lillard proving he